రావట్లేదా? స్టార్ట్ అయింది. రావట్లేదా? ఓకే. No? Right. So very good morning, all of you. So warm welcome for this weekend current affairs. So few more is joining. They will join in. They will come. So, any doubts, clarification for you? Is everyone preparing for this group 1 mains? Perhaps busy with that. In between, any doubts, clarifications? So, this week, what we'll do is because last week also we don't have the session. So, keeping the very important of the last week, in a way, this month, okay, let's take care the few aspects. Recently, there is a tendency of moving away from the colonial legacy. Something we want to see different. So we have the new laws relating to crime. So instead of IPC, Indian Penal Code, you have the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, right? So new nomenclature, not only just a change of name. If you look at inside things, it looks like most of things are similar, but they adopted in tune with the present times. They added certain things which are not present, deleted certain things which is not relevant. So in a way, we want to show that we are dynamic. It's opposite of static when you say this. So we want to dynamic, change according to the changing times. And similarly, the interpretation, okay, the interpretation is also getting changed. Because once you are giving the meaning to the word, you are now giving a different meaning to the same word. Previously thought of one thing, now you thought of another thing. This is what we call the interpretation. So you have innumerable cases, okay, when right to privacy once upon a time not a fundamental right, later become a fundamental right, right? It's all depend upon the interpretation, how you are looking into the matter. And Supreme Court is playing a very pivotal role, very crucial role towards this dynamism. And now it itself changed the symbolic of its, okay, the dharma. So when legislature make the laws, executive implements the law, judiciary interprets. On what basis it will do? On what basis they will deliver the judgments? All the things. So hitherto we have this symbol, right? All the way it is concerned. No doubt, when you take care of this, what it implies? The balancing. So you are providing the equality. So this is very perfectly all right in a way. Nobody is going to question. Here, some kind of thing is concerned. It is a bit of violent nature. Is it an era of kings? Is it an era of imperialism, a dominance, a Patel Patwari system? We call it Telangana, right? So what is that mind legacy, right? When Patel Patwari system or Nawab system, okay, landlordism, Ji Huzur, all the time we heard this, then what it is a big question mark. Then again, here we have the symbolism, the blindfolded, okay, eyes, right? Of course, at that time, interpretation is that court will not see anything what actually happens. It delivers judges based on evidence, the proof. Okay? Otherwise, no. Now, the new interpretations, why we have. Apart from this attire, changing of it now looks like a Bharata Mata more often it is concerned. Slight tinting, okay? Move this and now almost all straight rather than this. And this part is almost all the similar, right? The balancing. Okay, finally you have delivered judgment. The equality is the essence. No discrimination there. Okay. A rule of law prevails. All this symbolics perfectly right. But when you hear the folding, now we said, why should we have this? So if you observe carefully, nothing else is there. Now it's unfolded. Okay. So they are done away with. What is the symbol for that? Why it was treated? Is there any reason for that given? Hmm? The moment, once it is changed, perhaps what for? A transformation, no doubt, right? It reflects. Hmm? The very quote, right, on the top we have made, law is not blind anymore. Okay? So when it said is not blind, perhaps some symbolic it wanted to create, right? Either to, you're saying not seen, but now, for example, now the police are able to arrest the persons very easily, whatever the crime has taken place. One of the reasons is the big boss is watching, right? You have the CC cameras everywhere. And with the help of it, for example, okay, they are doing it. So getting evidence become easy because of the technological advancement compared to previous. So once it is adopting this technology in tune with this, definitely we will go in depth, looked into. Though we are not present, but we are not blind. Okay. So a new interpretation they are giving it. We will see it one form or another. Even now, the court hearings, right? You are able to see live, more transparency. So let's see how it's going to be. So the basis is no more blind. That's what the Chief Justice police said it's concerned. Then, of course, this sword, when you made it right, it has done away. You have the new things, the Constitution kept. The Constitution of India Okay, is the supreme law of the land. If at all you have to fear, right? When you something, right, the sword like this is creating a fear. If at all you fear, you have to fear of the constitution, the law of the land, not of otherwise. So adhere to the law. So when you are adherent to that, you will give the respect to it. When the sword or something sticky is there, you will fear, no respect there. But when the law, you have the respect. And law is meant for what? To provide an orderly life. Okay? So when that is concerned, respect. It's for our life and security. So we will respect. You will give respect to the law. Of course, you have to fear of the law because keeping the punishments in view. So respect is the top priority rather than this. So overall, what it wanted to constitute is what are the constitutional values that we have, isn't it? It reflects. And if you observe for last 5 years itself, the 2 times in civil service mains, you have the questions on the values of the constitution, the ethics of the constitution, rather than direct provisions in the main examination. Okay. And similarly, the Supreme Court, once upon a time, when you have the concept of judicial review, right? What is the judicial review? Hmm? Then review by judiciary. What? The legislations, the laws, acts, GOs, okay? That is executive orders. What it will look into, whether it is constitutional or not. If it is constitutional, right, otherwise, no. They will strike it off, null and void. So it's the power of the judiciary to look into the constitutionality of the legislations and executive orders. If they are according to constitution, okay. If not, they'll be declared as ultra vires, unconstitutional, not valid. Okay. Hitherto, the court used to based on what is called the procedure established by law, which the wording is very much there in Article 21, right? The procedure as per law, if it is there, okay, but no. But when the Keshavanda Bharti case arises, right, they started giving a new interpretation, not only just as per the procedure, okay, some basic structure is there, something hidden is there, you have to take care of that. The aims and aspirations of the makers of the constitution should keep in mind. Then that was more reflected in Maneka Gandhi case, where there's a broader interpretation to the term life, right to life. Government, that is the parliament, may impose restrictions, but they should be just, fair and reasonable. So from there onwards, they started giving new meanings to the innumerable things. That's what we call due process. So there's American judiciary used to be on the due process. Now Indian judiciary started moving towards this due process from Keshavanda Bharti case onwards, then slowly picking up. And right now, yes, when the due process, in America there's a saying, American Constitution and American judiciary, two are there, no? Like India. So American judiciary is under the Constitution. That means it has to work according to Constitution. But what is American Constitution? Whatever judges says is the Constitution. That's what Justice Holmes of Supreme Court of America openly declared. The very smallest one, right? Constitution, hardly 7-8 pages. It is. Ours is the biggest Constitution. So that means not only letter of the Constitution, but the spirit was taken into consideration. Okay, not only letter, but the spirit. Not only just according to provisions, Article 1, 2, 3, 4, but also the intention of the makers of the Constitution. That's what nothing but the values it implies. So most of the value term is hidden. The back side it is. It's not the front face. Now, to give this constitutional value symbolically, they made the issue like this. Okay. So let us see as it reflecting how it's going to be. So it is a one way of now moving away from the what you call the colonial legacy and moving towards more and more democratic approach movement. Okay, simply we call a transformation. Okay, interpretation that matters. So from the mains point of view, it's more, and overall symbolic you have to keep in mind. Any doubt on this? Then, of course, one more thing related to Supreme Court. When you say this, right, you are going to have a new Chief Justice next month. So, Justice Sanjeev Khanna name was proposed. The wording is very clear. It's only proposed. That means it was not as on date appointed. There's a difference. Who proposed? D.Y. Chandrachud proposed. Who is this D.Y. Chandrachud? Chief Justice of India. How is the Chief Justice? Now, who will appoint the Chief Justice of India? President will appoint. Why now present Chief Justice will propose? It's up to him, right? Okay, who's he to interfere? In a way, right? But always, as you say, the values, the thing is concerned. Value, the valuing is also important. So it's the customs developed in the course of time. The Chief Justice recommends one of the name. Generally, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court was recommended as the CJI. Okay. How many judges in the Supreme Court? What is the strength of Supreme Court? 33 or 34? Right? 33 judges plus one Chief Justice. Together, total, when you say strength of Supreme Court, is the 34, including, not including. This prelims related, be careful about those wording, okay, if at all in the choice. So out of 34 or out of 33, one will be the Chief Justice. Huh? My question, I mean, understand the question. Out of 33 or out of 34, you will find the Chief Justice. So when 33 plus Chief Justice, if at all you are choosing, already Chief Justice is there, if at all choosing next to who, out of 33 you may choose. But overall, out of 34, one will be the Chief Justice. Of course, playing with the language, okay, this is all the language we concern, but clear observation is required here. So certain minute things you have to take care, so that you will not commit unwarranted mistakes in prelims. And most of students, unfortunately, right, failed because of this small thing, not bigger things. Okay, small mistakes they used to commit. Be careful in a way in this one. So senior most judge name will be recommended by the existing Chief Justice. Then, of course, cabinet will look into, then recommend the president. Because why cabinet, that the council of ministers headed by prime minister, right? Their approval is required. Then president will adhere accordingly. Why in between we have the role of prime minister or cabinet? Approval is required. Once this question posed in interview, civil's interview, though is a part and parcel of your syllabi of prelims and mains, okay, Last year, one of the students faced this question. Of course, in the process, right, once you are saying something. Simple is, ours is a parliamentary system. Who is the real executive? Who is the nominal, right? President is nominal. We call simply rubber stamp. He will function according to the advice of Council of Ministers, headed by Prime Minister. So whatever the Council of Ministers take the decision. And in reality, is the cabinet take the decision. Okay? That will be adhered to. So president will appoint. But there are occasions, especially after Keshwanda Bharti case, you saw very clearly, which came against then government stand. So they overridden the seniors and appointed the junior as the senior. So we have 2-3 occasions where the seniority principle was done away with. Okay, but in recent occasion we don't have this example. Now, anyhow, we have to wait and see till appointment what is going to happen. But government is also not taking the risk. Let it be so. And Rajiv Khanna, Sanjeev Khanna, whatever will be, hardly he will be there for 6 months. That is from May 13th, his term is going to be over. So November 11th is going to take over. November 8th, CJI, the last day of the CJI, then the transformation, and November 11th, the new person will come. In between, of course, the final appointment will be made by the Chief Justice. Here, when the deadline arises, only 6 months. Now is Chandrachud is there almost all 2 years. Why? Why this difference? One Chief Justice having more term, another is less. No Japam. Why? Why some Chief Justice have more term and some have less? Pardon? So what? 65 is for what? Retire. Simple, right? So Supreme Court judges retired at the age of 65. So when 65 years is the retirement age, right? Is it the same for CJI? Okay, judges retired at the age of 65. What about Chief Justice? Same thing, right? Only it is something like one among the star. Okay? You will heading it. Only designation, and of course, some powers are there, addition to work, so additional salary. But otherwise, everything is the same. Okay? So, retirement is the same for judges as well as Chief Justice. No variation. Because of that, it is so 65 years or any specific term for Chief Justice, like if you say election commissioner, 6 years or 65 years, whichever comes earlier. Right? Comptroller Auditor General, 6 years or 65 years, whichever comes earlier. We have that concept, no? Do you have anything like this here? Assume the person charged Chief Justice at the age of 55. Can he has to retire within 61? Nothing like this, right? We don't have that concept right now. Only they will retire at the age of 65. There is no any specific tenure. No 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years like this. Okay? It's a specific. So finally, when this proposed only by the CJ, but all appointed by whom? The President. Okay. Yeah. Appointed by the President, not by the thing is concerned, right? So once appointed, The judges will continue till their retirement. But High Court judges different. What are the High Court judges? Retirement age 62. Supreme Court 65. Okay. Then at that time, just recollect everything about the Supreme Court, the judges, how they will get appointed, how they will be removed, what their salaries, and all the things. Now the CJ is coming it up. Who is the first CJ of India? H.J. Kania. Okay. So like this, those facts recollect. And as I told you a number of times, once you're reading something, not just look at and close it. Look in and around. If possible, read everything about the Supreme Court and High Court, judiciary. So it's become a revision for you, and now you look into everything. Or recollect first. If any point you find it difficult to recollect, then look into the matter. Anyhow, your mobile is there, Google it, click it, you will get everything. Okay. Then so here, and of course, Supreme Court related, it delivered the judgment regarding Citizenship Act. The 6A of the Citizenship Act. It upholds this constitutional validity of 6A of Citizenship Act. The citizenship rules and regulations, is it mentioned in the Constitution, or we have only separate act? Act means made by the Parliament. It's there in the Constitution, and we have also separate act. Both are there. Rules regarding citizenship, everything where it is in the Constitution. అద్దాక నన్నే అడుగుతున్నా ఎందుకంటే ఎక్కడుంది? విచ్ పార్ట్? పార్ట్ 2, article from 5 to 11. So whenever the thing is concerned, so citizenship, article 5 to 11, part 2 of the Constitution, right? So when you have this one, but detail is not mentioned. 5 to 10, because at that time, keeping the conditions, India, Pakistan related, the movement of citizenship, everything is there, that only. Finally, the 11 authorized the Parliament. Okay. Oh, writing part, it became tough. Okay. Authorize the Parliament to make a law. So now Parliament can do so. In accordance with this, Parliament made a law in which year this act came? 1955. So Citizenship Act 1955. It made. Now whatever changes you are making, now no Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA 2019, if you see that, right? Anti-CAA movement, all the things. So you are amending the Citizenship Act of 1955. That fact you have to keep in mind. How do you say you are citizen? Are you Indian citizens? All of you. How do you say it? I think last time when the contest arises, we said, right? So of course, Aadhaar cards, your passports, okay, your birth certificates, all these no doubt some evidences relating to, but simply to put it, based on the place of birth, based upon your blood relationship, the citizenship will be decided. This is what we call as You are the natural citizen, right? So when you say natural, it's based on your place of birth, or it's based on the blood relationship, what's your parents are. Okay, generally the terms they use, Latin term, just soli, soil, just sanguinis. Okay, just soli, just sanguinis reflects this blood relations. As we've said number of times, no law is absolute as it is. Okay, just because you born here, automatically will you get citizenship? Is a bigger question mark. Another, when the parents, is there any guarantee that both the parents of the child, the mother and father, are Indians? Okay, there's no guarantee, right? There's a possibility that the citizen of two different countries also. Okay, if that be the case, what is the position? Okay, arises. So you have to take innumerable things. And as per international laws, a person should be a citizen of only one country. If he is not citizen of any country, what we call him? Any name? Citizen is a member of the country. He should be the member in one country or the another, because he is staying at this. Assume he is not citizen of any country. Alien. So once Indian citizen is not citizen, so he is an alien for every where, isn't it? Okay. And some countries has given the what you call dual citizenships. Can be two, like Britain and everything. But remember, primary and next, that will be there. So definitely should be the primary for one. India, we are not granted. It is only single citizenship. So regarding natural, we don't have much problem. For example, a parents give the birth to the child in America, Indian parents in America. Child, till he attain majority, he can opt either, he enjoys the both citizenship of India and America, because as per the soil, as per the birth. But the moment he attain majority, he has to declare whether he want to be an Indian or American. Like this, finally, only one citizenship it will be assigned. Okay, but number of Indians are going to America, getting in the course of time American citizenship. Like that, few others, they came to India and getting citizenship. How they are getting? That concept we call naturalized. Okay, so when you say this naturalized, for example, you are staying in the country for longer period, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So you want to be here only. You can apply and get it. Like no, our people are going America, staying for 10 years, then we want to be there, green card, that card. They will try their best. In India, minimum 5 years you have to stay. After that, if you want, you can express your intention. After 6 years, you can apply. It will take another year. Then after end of 7 years, if government feel happy, they will give. So minimum overall 7 years period is required in India to get the thing. But after 5 years, the process starts. Overall, it will take 2 years. And for some conditions, is 11 years. Okay. Previously, it is 13 years, now reduced to 11. Variations. Or else, most of Indians, right? Or I mean, they become Indian or things by virtue of marriage. Okay. One, they will marry Indian. They may opt Indian citizen. That's every country. Okay. The other day, 2 days back, I attended my friend's son's marriage, and is an Indian. Okay, married American. Is an Indian citizen as on date. she was an American citizen as on date. Okay. Now, which citizenship they will get? Now they have to opt. If they want to stay in India, that girl now has to, she will get automatically. Or if he's going there, so without much wait, got one card. So by default, right, by bond of marriage, she will get the American citizenship. Isn't it? So that's a choice. Now the Sonia Gandhi, for example, right, like this, one the bond, and that is most of the thing happening. Or else government may assign, okay, government itself will give, grant the citizenship. So like this, you have the various modes of assigning citizenship, getting the citizenship. At the same time, you can relinquish, you can say bye-bye, you can take other country citizenship, or government also will cancel your citizenship. So process is there, no doubt. Here, where the problems are coming. In general, law is very clear regarding natural. Okay, we don't have much problem regarding citizenship, regarding natural. Even if the problems comes, that will be addressed. Issues of this naturalized. Okay, that means they are not actually citizens. They came from some other country. They want to be. Then the problem starts. Major problem will be there. When you want to go to other country, you require the passport of that country and permission of that country, visa, right? Passport, visa is essential. Then it's considered as legal. So when the concept of legal, no issue. But what's happening now? Most things are illegal. There the problems commences. You have been to America, you are permitted for 1 year. You stayed beyond 1 year, you will consider it illegal. Right? You are supposed to come back. Okay? That means even if your time over, if you are staying extra, it's over. Like in India, most of them, right? The people come from Pakistan, come from Afghanistan, Nepal, right? Or neighboring countries. Even from now recently, the tendency from African countries, they are coming here 2 years, 3 years like this, still staying back. And most of the African students pursue education here in universities. They are not going back. Like our people are going for education, they are not coming back. They too here, staying here. Okay. So this process is everywhere in one form or the another. That is one aspect. Second illegality arises, even entry itself is illegal. They don't have the visa at all. Even sometimes they don't have the passports also. So neither the passport nor visa they will enter. Practical problem we have. And India is facing this issue for various reasons. Okay. So when a person came from Bangladesh, because the issue is very much is there illegally, because border, no, porous border, plus before this land border agreement of India and Bangladesh, one village is here, next Bangladesh, next India. So movement easy, it become a tougher job. So they want to legally, how they can make it legal? The moment they stay here for 5 years plus, after 7 years they can apply. By marrying Indian, they can get. So these things they started getting it. When 1971, is a very crucial year where India faced the maximum problem. What is the significance of 1971? So at that time, right, the Bangladesh liberation, that is India-Pakistani war regarding Bangladesh. Okay. So because of the relationship of this East and West Pakistan, and West Pakistan Authority and East Pakistani people sufferings. Finally, they raise against the West Pakistan and want to be independent. At that time, West Pakistan, they don't want to, right? No country wanted to get divided. Okay, so it tried its best and tried to put off by force, by using force, that is by military. Okay, the naturally number of people scared about their life and property, so they came to India, walked in without any passport, everything. So lakhs of people, millions otherwise we called it. So around 15 lakhs plus entered in the beginning itself. Even it's there the figures that initially touched, that's 20, 30 like this. But after everything is over, around 20% gone back. But 80% stay back in India. And most of them in Assam, then Bengal and other northeastern states, and spreads to other areas, including Hyderabad you will find at that time. And there is a movement in Assam especially. Even the students come together, made it up. So finally, Assam Accord was signed. With that, they added this 6A. Now addressing this illegal immigrants. Okay, that's what brief history when you talk about this one. So in 1986, onwards, you have the changes they made to the accord was signed and changes made to the Indian Citizenship Act. Again in 2004, some more changes were made. Then it was challenged after 12 years. You got this judgment on this issue. So the section 6A, when you are talking about the immigrants who came to India, especially this Assam, because this is exclusively because of the Assam Accord. Based on the Assam Accord, this was made, mainly meant to the Assam. Before 3 deadlines were given. So deadline 1, before January 1966. In between 66, 71. After, okay, there's a second, there's a third, okay, criteria they made. Why this 66? Why this 71? These are the questions they made on this. Again, you have, because this is a contest is Indo-Pak War. 1965, you have India, Pakistan war. Okay. At that time, India is having upper hand over the Pakistanis. We have the war only in the western front, not in the eastern front much. Okay. Kashmir part, okay, the Gujarat, all this part is concerned. Rajasthan, all this western part of India, you have the war. Not of the much of eastern part. Though the army and everything is ready, that forces, because at that time East Pakistan, West Pakistan is one, right? But you don't have much of war happened in the eastern side. But still, fearing that, the few people came to India. Not a much atrocities happened in that country during that period. Okay. So it's a normal scenario till then. But after that, as India has an upper hand, few people thought that if not today, tomorrow, again another war, we may get affected. So the few people in the border areas and people, they move to India deliberately. They're all illegals. no legalities. So before this is an almost normal scenario. In between, you will find some sort of apprehension. భయాందోళనలు అంటాం కదా, in future what is going to happen. You have an apprehension. So with the future apprehension, the people came to India illegally. So we kept this. 71, anyhow, the march, when the liberation of Pakistan happened, then the deadline. At that time, innumerable, right? Lakhs of people came. We don't want them. This year, they can deem to be Indian citizen the moment they applied, right? Here they said is, okay, they can register after 10 years of residency, minimum 10 years given. So 10 years, then 1 year process. So after 11 years only, they will get it. And no vote. That means no political rights. They can't exercise right to vote. They can't contest in the elections. They can't enjoy the government jobs virtually. No political rights for them. Even today. Okay, who will be registered accordingly. But illegal become legal. Then to be detected, deported illegals as immigrants. After that, you have to deport. Deport means send it back. Pampichers. And an NRC was created for detecting, identifying who are national population register. NPR, what is it? National Register. Okay, I'm getting the things done, right? National Registration for Population. Okay, NPR, National Population Registry. Specifically, a registry was created to name each and every one. Remember that National Population Registry is only for Assam, nowhere else. Then only whoever be registered in that, they will be treated as Indian citizens. Otherwise, no. But though detection happened under the guidance of Supreme Court, everything is finalized, but none was deported so far. Okay, because at that generation is no more, most of them are in the last years of their part. And it so happens those illegals, what they did is they married Indians. They came to India illegally, not just stayed like this and have the marriage among themselves. They marry Indians. So once the marriage happen, again they can become Indians. So later, the 1987 amendment as well as 2004 amendment of Citizenship Act address this issue also. If either of the parent is illegal, child will not get citizenship. So unfortunately, child is a sufferer here. So you are not deporting. Okay? But child, that's what child become a stateless person. Okay, that's what we call stateless. You are not citizen of any country. So you will not get any benefits. You can't go out now from India if you want also. Isn't it? Legally you can't go out. Anything is you have to go out illegally. Okay? So that is a position on that one. So now the Supreme Court addressed this issue. Of course, it uphold all these things. Now illegality, the thing is concerned. And 6A especially, when it says this criteria of year is not rational. That's what one of the reason. They said is perfectly all right. Right? Because whatever be the laws made by Parliament should be just, fair and reasonable. Rationality is the criteria. That any categorization should be done. So it said it is just and fair. And Supreme Court uphold this criteria is just, fair, and reasonable. The standards of rationality was adhered to. And second question that arises is regarding, now most of them, from the Bangladesh, now Bangladesh they came, their religions are different, traditions are different, right? And culture. And in Indian Constitution, we have one article that specifically protecting the culture and heritage of the minorities. Which article? Article 29. Cultural and educational rights you have, 29 and 30. And 29 specially protecting this. Tell me, is that applicable to only citizens or both citizens and aliens? Persons, all persons. Like Article 14 applies to all persons, all are equal before law. Whereas 15, 16 applies only to citizens, even 19 only for citizens. 17, 18 for everyone, right? Like this, no? The few fundamental rights are available only to citizens, some available to all persons, that is including aliens living in the country. Article 14 applies to everyone. Now what about this 29? Because Article 29 specially meant for the protection of minorities. Got it? When, okay, cultural education, right? Specially meant for protection of minorities. When specially meant for the protection of minorities, these are, who are the minority? Less in number. Okay? Constitution identified two types of minorities. What are those? Religious and linguistic minority. Linguistic, language basis. Religion, simply we call Hindus are majority, all others are minority. Okay? So most of the immigrants now, the people they came, they are of illegally came to India, whoever illegally, they are Muslims. So under it, they will get the protection. They can protect their rich culture and heritage. Isn't it? Even on this, the case was filed. And indigenous people, the local people, right? They feel that their culture is getting damaged. Their culture is getting polluted. Okay? It become unholy. Like those sort of things it is concerned. Because of those things. So identify and deport them. That's what indigenous people demand. And these people are saying that anyhow we came and staying for a long time. Right? From 71 they came, 5 years over, 10 years over, 20 years over. Right? Still staying. So we have every right to stay here. Plus you have to, as the constitution, you have to adhere to the Article 29. So like this, a cases was filed in a way. So Supreme Court finally responded that yes, Assam Accord, no doubt, is a political, a legislative solution, okay, to the problem. So it uphold the capability of the Parliament to make a legislation on this one, and cut-off days also it uphold all the way. And similarly, when Article 29(1) is talking about different groups in the state, they said it doesn't violate anything. Okay? Because nowhere else we put any stops, conditions relating to the usages and practices of those people. Even 6A is not mentioned anything, nor further any legislation mentioned anything. Okay? So keeping that in mind, it upholds all the parties concerned. And now, this is relating to the past, 2012. 2019 onwards, you have another issue. What is that? When you have the CAA 2019, Citizenship Amendment Act, What the purpose of the Citizenship Amendment Act? To grant citizenship to these illegal immigrants only. Got it? The purpose is to grant to these illegal immigrants. Okay? Clear? They are ready to now. But conditions are there. What are the conditions? Two conditions. What are they? Should, okay, that is should be come from any of the three countries. What are those three? Bangladesh, Pak, Afghanistan. That means if they came from Sri Lanka, no. If they came from Nepal, no. If they came from Myanmar, no. Right? Only from these three countries. Any illegally comes. And should belong to any of the six communities. What are those? Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikh, Parsi, and Christians. Should be of six. So three countries, six communities. That's it. So here we don't have much problem. Problem from Sri Lanka. The people, Tamilians came from Sri Lanka. They are fighting now. Let we also include in that. And here the problem is, who are the things? What about Muslims? Muslims were excluded. They are not included in this. But majority of them are Muslims. So they are not included in this. So they are protesting. So we have anti-CAA protest. They also challenge same thing because of our Article 14, right? Equality. So you are giving citizenship to illegal immigrants. So you are not adhering to the principle of equality. Your own constitution you are not adhering to. So that case is still pending, but Supreme Court has not given stay orders, okay, on this. So it clearly implies it is buying time. Keeping this judgment is very clear. It is going to uphold this CAA 2019. Already it came into 4. They started granting the citizenship accordingly. But the deadline, what is the deadline? December 31st, 2014 is the deadline. Okay, so those who come on or before December 31st, 2014, they can only apply. Why that? Why the deadline of 14? Just a చెప్పండి. BJP came to power. No. ఇక్కడ parties doesn't matter. No doubt that initiated the process. No, మీరు చాలా సింపుల్గా you can guess it. Apply the logic. When act was made, 19. 5 years. So 5 years stay is important. Okay? Minimum 5 years should be there. Then they can express their intention. 1 year. Then another year of investigation. So total 2 years it will take. So after 7 years only they will get. Okay? The process runs for minimum 5 years. After 5 years they can. Okay? Applying. So that is the reason. Okay, not just, no doubt BJP came to power in 14 itself. So that is not the legal reason for that. Okay, other parties. So that date you have to keep in mind. But when finally it came into force, when it became, no doubt it became act. Act means the moment president approves it, but it was notified very lately, right? Only to 2024 it came into force. Which month? Huh? Two things also. Even CAA came into force. Similarly, law of crimes, that is BNS, okay, and other laws also came into force this year only. So find out the dates and tell me this in a way, because that's also very, very important. Okay, very much important. Do dates. Okay, when CAA 2019 came into March. Why? After looking, you are getting the two different dates. And from when this Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita came into force? Month I am asking. July. July is what? BNS. What about CAA? From when the few started getting, because this is the notification is required. Okay, no, gazette notification. Then only it will be implemented. Just become an act doesn't, it will not came into force automatically. Gazette notification is essential. March onwards it will be there. So 2024 become a crucial part. So keeping that in mind, even the dates recently, especially groups, they are asking the dates also. Okay, which are following true, false, the dates 2019, 24. See how many years it has taken to came into 4. So that aspect you have to keep in mind. Okay, clear? Can doubts name? Any doubts? Anything on this? No, they put it, now it is valid. But the person who comes, then only there. Because that is related to Assam Accord, and Assam related. Now, after 71, whoever comes illegal, everything it was addressed. So they will not be automatically treated as citizens. And illegally comes, there illegal is illegal. You can't. And 2004 amendment made it more clear. Okay? That is, even in the case of marriage, you can't get the Indian citizenship if you are illegal. Okay. Then, next one, of course, another Supreme Court judgment is this thing, and caste-based allotment of work to prisoners. So already they committed some crime, they are in jail. So once the person is in jail, because there's the concept, no, ideal brain is a devil's workshop. You can't keep them just in there. So they have to keep them busy. Something or the another. You have to be busy. Right? Otherwise, we don't know what is going to be happen. So, as they have to confine to those jail walls, they will be allotted some work. Do this, do this, do this, according to their capability, age, everything like this, or according to sentence. And so there is one rigorous imprisonment, for example. Okay, so when the rigorous imprisonment is there, they will be given all hardcore professional jobs related. Physical, the part is concerned. And the cinema in the old movies, you can see all those things, not in the new. So different professional will be that. Hitherto nobody observed, perhaps. But in the course of time, it knows that because India is a caste-ridden, the caste is based on the profession that you are doing. And one of the assumption is that you have to continue that. Okay, that is hereditary. caste is hereditary, so the profession is also hereditary. Okay, a Brahmin son should be the Brahmin, for example. Okay, a scavenger son should be the scavenger. A goldsmith son should be the goldsmith. Son of that, everything. Now, what's the present thing? Are we going to adhere to that? Even the constitution, because one of the inhuman practice is untouchability. Certain caste was discriminated, they are exploited, isn't it? So Article 17 was deliberately be incorporated, prohibiting this untouchability. And 1516 clearly talking about no discrimination on the basis of the caste, isn't it? So when so many things is there, how you will discriminate in prison? Why you forcibly assign work for them in prison? Forcibly assigning work is against which principle? Which law, which article of the Constitution? You have freedom to adopt any profession as you like. Which article? Article 19. How many freedoms are there? There are 6 freedoms in under Article 19. Right? So one of the thing is freedom to have any profession, trade, occupation as you like. Isn't it? So that also violates that now. Once you assign yes, okay, you have to do that. Recently, a few people, they've been to the High Court. They are doing some jobs in city, but there's village people force them to come back and do certain work. Even I choti వీటిలో ఏమంటారు, వాళ్ళు ఏమంటారు, డప్పులు కొట్టే వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు కదా, what they call. So they said from generation to generation you are doing, and only the remaining you have to do. So they was called on forcibly assigned, and as these people refused, they were expelled from the village. Okay, all social boycott. So even when the people approached the local police, it seems they are helpless. Then finally they approached the High Court. Then High Court directed the collector to take the steps, and accordingly those people was arrested and everything. Even this era you will find this one. So what is the direction is called? Why they have been to directly to the High Court? And what direction it has given? Can you go to High Court directly? Right. For implementation of your fundamental rights, you can go directly. What is that article? Under which article you can directly go to Supreme Court or High Court? Sure, under 32. Only regarding fundamental rights. Got it? So now that they directed the district collector to do this like this, it will come under which writ? Sure? The writ of mandamus. Though the newspapers and everything may not give this wording, Vedas, you have to recollect and do this. So this sort of things, even today when the caste days, of course, no doubt when the elections arises, the caste factor is very much the reflective all the way. Now the Supreme Court clearly stated that in prison also, you will find the discrimination, low caste, higher caste. Higher caste was assigned few, okay, top of jobs, okay, and lower caste assigned other menial jobs. What is this? Okay, so virtually it invoking the articles, okay, though here we not mentioned what are the articles that will come into. Article 14, when the very starting, right? all are equal. All persons are equal before the law. Okay, and 15 and 16 specifically talking about no discrimination regarding access or the professions or employment, all those things. Then, of course, Article 17 specifically abolished untouchability. Then, of course, Article 19, you have the freedom of the professions. So you will assign accordingly. No doubt, things you may assign according to their capability. Okay, some may or may not be. Okay, because there's no guarantee now this generation. Recently, I met one of the student, right? I mean, it's so happening this that is just pursuing his intermediate and doing the law. Suddenly, one student asks, okay, ఏదో ఉంటుంది కదా వినాయక మంత్రం ఉంటుంది ఈ మంత్రాలు చదవండి అనేసి. He's a son of the Brahmin. They said, I don't know anything. Isn't it? So there's no guarantee that even the persons your father is a Brahmin, so the caste may be you're inheriting, not this Vedas. It all depends, isn't it? So he's finally saying that his father don't want, his family don't want him to learn anything. Even he's not aware of the single rhymes or rhythms of anything else. He was brought up like this. Because in the childhood, everything is concerned. They don't want their child to be in the same profession. So completely they are into a different profession. And one of his brother is already into the entrepreneur, doing some other business, nothing to do with his professions. So like this, there are. Now we have the choice. Who are you to restrict anybody to anywhere else? So those were addressed accordingly. Okay, so those you have to keep in mind. Any outside? So చూడండి. ఓకేనా? Then the next issue is about Jammu and Kashmir. Of course, recently final elections were held and Omar Abdullah, here you find, right, it took as the CM, but here the word they use, no, first JNK CM. That means is it JNK is after 370 abrogation. So we know that history completed, right? When Kashmir became part of India. When Kashmir became part of India, 1947, August 15, it is with India? No, not right, on 48 only. By Treaty of Accession, then King joined with India. What's the name of the king at that time? Har Singh. Recently, why Har Singh is in the news? Last month. Okay, so suddenly Modi recollected Har Singh and declared his birthday, okay, as separate holiday in Kashmir. Okay, 23rd of September, if I remember correctly. Okay, so sometimes suddenly you recollect those verses in that context also. First time this onwards it's happening. Then Here, Article 370 meant for the special status to Jammu and Kashmir, and that is now done away with. In which year Article 370 was done away? Scrapped. That is special status was 370 is still in the constitution. Is not deleted. Only special status was done away with. In which year? Sure. Same thing. The CAA, this 2019, it is done away. So, it means after 6 years, you have elections. So, at that time, not only special status was done away, but also Kashmir was divided into two parts, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, isn't it? So, Ladakh one, Jammu and Kashmir another. And one more thing they have done is they have done away with the statehood. They convert them as a union territories. Jammu and Kashmir is a union territory. Ladakh is also a union territory. But a discrimination was made between these two. Jammu and Kashmir was given assembly, whereas Ladakh was not given. Okay, how many union territories? 8. Out of 8, how many have assemblies? Hitherto 2, now with Jammu and Kashmir, 3. Puducherry, Delhi, now Jammu and Kashmir. These 3 union territories have the assembly. That point also you have to keep in mind. Recently, an SSC examination, that questions again appeared. Okay. Ladakh is not having it. Okay. So in the choice they are given Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh also there. Okay. So has to be in this part. Then, but elections immediately not held. Hitherto it is under President's rule. After feeling that a normalcy restored, elections were held. Now the Assembly of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so simple majority. Whoever get it, they will form the government. So as usual, process happened. So before that, it is President's rule imposed. Now President's rule was also revoked. Okay, that is 2019, the President. Which article President's rule can be imposed? Sure. 356 imposed in a state, union territory also. Understood my question? Article 356 is relating to the state. If the state government is not functioning in accordance with the provision, the word state is clearly mentioned. Got it? So when state is mentioned, Jammu and Kashmir is not a state. How is that Article 356? It should be of something else. It's a union territory. Union territory directly under union. Lieutenant Governor will take care. Already it is under President's rule in a way. Lieutenant Governor is only mediation. But here, assembly is there. As the assembly is there, definitely in the course of time, you have MLAs, majority, elections, and CM, ministers, everything. So if that political executive is not functioning according to the constitution, now again President's rule can be imposed. But all the time, there are different articles will be involved here. So for Delhi, special act. For everything, there is a special act is there, right? So for Jammu and Kashmir, here Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019, right? So in this context, the two articles, Article 239, 239A, which was added later, okay, that was used regarding this. So check once, what is 239, what is 239 A so that you will get the clarity about anything. Okay. So before the appointment of the CM itself, it has done away with. Okay. So Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act is there. Similarly, for Delhi, its own acts. For Puducherry, its own act. Remaining scenarios will be as usual. The consequences will be as usual. Okay. Then, one more thing, there's a diplomatic row between India and Canada. Internationally, India, Canada expelled each other, their diplomats. Why? The wording is this Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Okay, the issue. So, what are the points that we need to keep in mind here from the exam point of view? Okay, because it's both from the prelims as well as the mains point of view is very clear. So, initially, now Canada, they declared Indian diplomats, recent, right, as the persons of interest. What it means? So, persons of interest, it means is like, okay, I like you, I love you, or not. Okay, but here, once you, in the diplomatic term, the persons of interest, for what is the question arises? For alleged role in the killing of this pro-Khalistani figure, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. That means Indian diplomats, few are involved. When you mention their name, there is every possibility that they will be interrogated. Okay? If proven, arrested. Right? Investigation will be done. Then punishment will be given. All the things follows. But the big question mark is, can they do so? Okay? Last time I think we discussed one concept in different contexts. We have the concept called extraterritoriality. Anybody remember this? I don't know in what context we discussed in the class itself. This refers to privileges, immunities that attain to diplomats. Okay, especially now the civils, you are preparing one of the covet of his IFS, Indian Foreign Service. You are representing India. So innumerable benefits, privileges, immunities, you will get it. Like other citizens, you can't arrest them just like this for anything is concerned. Okay, long back in 70s, one diplomat belonged to Czechoslovakia. I'm subject to correction. He's traveling fast, very fast, right, in the outskirts of Delhi, and local police stopped them. Initial warning and something happened, his language, that language, something. So local police upset very much, and he arrested that person in the midnight and kept him in jail. Okay. He's saying innumerable things, but the constable never listened anything. But adherent to the law, early morning, by 11 o'clock, they produced him before the court. Because at the time they seized everything, once arrested, no phone, nothing. Everything was seized and not allowed. The moment the judge come to know that is an ambassador of the country, he stand up with all the folded hands, apologized, okay, and released him immediately and dropped him at his diplomatic mission. And within hours, the Indian government apologized. Rhodesia, Rhodesia, very small country, right? Ignorable. Apologized for the act done by the police system. See, that much of the things is there, whatever the reason. So you'll find this sort of the things. Even few years back, when Indian diplomat was arrested in America by the American police, though no doubt she has done something against the American laws, but Obama interfered and released her and rendered an apology. At that time, Obama was the president of America. So you have innumerable privileges available to the diplomats. So this all comes under the concept of extraterritorial. Their diplomatic mission is there in India. For example, Pakistan embassy or Indian embassy, American embassy. That embassy, the place is as if it's treated as that country. For example, now for visas, you will go to consulate office. That should be treated as an American, not of India. Anything happen, according to the American laws, you have to do that. Okay? Our police cannot enter without their permission. Even if you kill somebody, enter into American consulate, the police will not enter inside. Okay? Of course, with their due permission only they can. Okay? Once it's happened in Delhi. Okay? One person killed and is running, police are chasing, and it suddenly entered into the embassy of the Pakistan. Okay? Police are helpless, they stand. Even this person who killed, he don't understand why police are not entering. Okay? But anyhow, later the Pakistan people handed over him back. That's a different story. That's how you can't do that. That's what extra is innumerable privileges. If that be the case, how is that you will interrogate without our due permission, if at all, without any proofs, evidences, right? Innumerable. No doubt, allegation is allegation. You can keep. They said that Ra is involved, right? Everything is saying. We don't know the reality. But when the diplomatic is concerned, when the persons of interest, so what naturally, the retaliation starts. Once they said persons of interest, we use the word persona non grata. What is? Person not acceptable. Okay? When you use the word persona non grata, person not acceptable. We expel Canadians. So that expulsion comes under here. I think you have another slide. Yeah. Indian action. So expulsion, that is concerned. Expelled from India. So this we use the word persona non grata. Person not acceptable. Okay? This is what it is concerned. So we'll expel them. The thing is done. Not only we expelled the Canadian diplomats, 6 diplomats we expelled, but also we withdraw our diplomats. Before expulsion, we withdraw. Okay? Definitely, Canada would have retaliated. Before that happened, we withdraw our diplomat and ask them to back to India. This is what a diplomat. If that be the case, what is the problem? We just expelled this. So, relationship. Now, where you have to go to passport, visas, right? All permissions and everything. Or if something happened to our Indians in Canada, to whom they have to address, isn't it? The mission is there to take care of the Indians in that country. That's one of the area also, right? Then what to do? All the practical problems will happen, but still sometimes we have to face all these issues. So this is for this Singh Nijjar, right? He's a pro Khalistani figure. What is this Khalistan? Those who struggling for independent Punjab. Punjab, they want to be independent country. Punjab, Haryana together, right? They want to have independent country. That's what Khalistan movement. Now it is not there. After 1984, Blue Star operation, everything is there. But still, there are the few people who are won. And recently, when the the farmer protest is on, right? Anti-agro laws, and few Khalistani elements included into that vote. That's what allegation by the government. And this, they got the support from Canada also. We protested anyway. But anyhow, finally, the leader relating to once he died in this, and Canadian government has taken this step because he's a citizen of Canada. So they want to protect their citizens' interests. Of course, Sikhs constitute around 2% of Canada population, but then, though it looks like a minority, they hold a very crucial political clout. Around 18 plus MPs are there. So present government is surviving on their support. So they can't take the risk on the parties concerned. So maybe that is the reason. So here, this diplomatic privileges and everything, you will get under Vienna Convention. So Vienna Convention of 1961, okay? So you will find the diplomatic immunity, that wording. So remember that issue. So you can't do just like anything as you wish. And when you recall, yes, as per Vienna Convention, you can recall. Article 3 and 43 is clearly talking about, but the procedure has to be followed. Okay, on what reasons you are recalling your persons, what reason you are expelling the persons is also mentioned very much in the expulsion also in the Vienna Convention. So reasons for expulsions has to be given in a way. So that's the thing which you have to remind that part is concerned. Then of course, few quick bits when Israel waging the virtual war against Gaza, as well as Hamas, Hezbollah groups started killing the leaders. Hezbollah had, and the other day we said this, Hamas had, all this was eliminated. So war is in a way virtual at its sides. But at the same time, the UN, Red Cross, and others also concerned about the civilian population. Their basic requirement of food, shelter, clothing, apart from security of the life. The UN peacekeeping mission is there. It seems there are a few attacks on UN peacekeeping mission in Lebanon as well. And food supplied by the UN is not reaching to the Gaza, the people over there. So UN Secretary General is concerned about this issue. And Israel was upset. Even Israel now granted persona non grata for him. You should not enter into our country. So first time in the history of UN, a UN Secretary General was stopped visiting a particular country. Hitherto never ever happened on the way. So it was condemned by each and everyone as such. But anyhow, the India, Russia, all these, the few countries, and they are maintaining silence. I mean, India, America, they are right now maintaining silence. So we are neither for nor against in this way. So in this contest, recollect the name of the person. Similarly, NATO got the new chief now. So what is NATO? That is American-led military alliance, a collective security alliance. How many countries now? Why it is very much news? Because of Ukraine. Ukraine want to member, Russia don't want. So there the war escalated. Now NATO is expanding by leaps and bounds also, and a very crucial role it is in. So last sessions we discussed a lot. Then go through with this NATO as well, okay, on this issue. Similarly, recently the Shanghai, the meet was concluded. Okay, so go through that Shanghai. Last sessions we discussed in detail. As in Pakistan happened, number of leaders also not heads of meet supposed to be. Somehow the Putin or G, they're not present, even Indian. Modi also not physically present. Instead, we send our Ministry of External Affairs, right? Jai Shankar representing the country. How many countries in SCO now? SCO is a Chinese-led economic and security bloc. Sometimes it's considered an alternative to NATO also. But anyhow, it's not like this. It has more the issue part is concerned. So right now we have the 10 member states. India and Pakistan become member in 2017. Okay, and two observers and 14 dialogue partners. So in the course of time, these dialogue partners may become the members of this one. And recently, Belarus became the member, the 10th member as such. Then the objectives. This is important from the mains point of view when you're writing the significance of it. 80% of Eurasia, Europe and Asia, right, is of this, and 40% of world population is in this organization, and 23% of the global GDP. So that is the strength of this. So no one country can ignore this. Now it is going virtually, right, in trying to give a tough fight to the G7 group. Okay, and similarly moving towards, okay, the plans is also like European Union, Asian, like this, they want to have their own way. So we have to wait and see how it is going to take the turn. But cooperation among the members is very essential. Unfortunately, India and Pakistan are the loggerhead, so issue. And from mains point of view, remember this, why it is important for India, what the benefits that we get. And one of the thing is RATS, very crucially point out. There's a special wing that a security wing SCO is holding. Regional anti-terroristic squad it is. So here terrorism is an inhuman act and universally need to be condemned. That's the one issue. But another thing, you have to fight against. So always together fight is important rather than alone. If India is now, for example, alleging Pakistan is aiding and abetting terrorists, so that we have the problem in Kashmir. So India only fighting, so it may not be sufficient. You need to require the support of other countries as well. Okay, so now our allegation against Pakistan. Pakistan is very much in SCO now. And one of the SCO's nature is anti-terrorism. So now together we have to do. Anyhow, openly Pakistan even now is not saying that we are aiding and abetting, but still those things has to be addressed as such. Then one more thing, the island, right? Diego Garcia issues like this, and Chagos Islands, they are here, handed back to which country? Madagascar. Okay, so there's a contention issue, but the Diego Garcia, which is of course Chago Island, this script here, you'll find this the Diego Garcia. It is still under UK part is concerned. So go through this information also. Okay. Then national issues, this classical language issue, touch with this. This is different from official languages, which are mentioned in their schedule. These are nothing to do with this. But most of the official languages are in the classical language issue. Some classical languages are not in official. That different part you have to keep in mind. Can you tell me out of which are not in the official language list? That's 22. Anyhow, on the top itself I mentioned. I'm just looking, so your eyes are here. So if you look at this, except right, Prakrit and Pali, all others are mentioned. So order a priority, because now the civil service is asking in a different way. First one, then latter, which they became, is also important, and the criteria of adopting. So go through once, plus difference between official languages and classical languages. Then of course Telangana comfort, right? Now the caste survey. NASA is launching this Europa Clipper. So what is this about? Going to where? What is the purpose of it? huh? Launched by Falcon, Jupiter. Okay, and before that, even it is going to study the moon as well. Okay, Jupiter and its moon. Jupiter, its moon is name is Europa. Not this moon, okay? That's what the moon of Jupiter. That point you have to remember, Europa. That's what this Europa. What is Europa is the moon of the Jupiter. That point you have to keep in mind. So NASA launched this one from the SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket. Then of course Nobel Prizes. So who got the Nobel Prize for Literature? 2024. Economics. Peace. Mhm. These generally three most of time appeared in the exams. Okay, economics, peace, literature related. Then of course, others in the field. What are the other field? Medicine, physics, chemistry. Totally, how many field? How many fields? The Nobel Prize will be given. From when Nobel Prize started? How many Indians received so far? Is it all Indians in the six fields, or any field so far? Not even single Indian got it. The other questions need to be addressed. Okay, ఏదో వచ్చేసి ఆ పేరు చదివేసి వదిలేయకండి. Okay, so look into that and find out. Okay, Google ఉంది కాబట్టి everything answers you will get. So that's a homework for you. Through that and do this. Okay, so thank you very much. See you next week.